British history. The Renaissance. Renaissance literally means rebirth, usually used with revival of learning. Social, political, and religious ideas were revolutionized. Certain inventions and discoveries contributed to the development. Printing press, introduced in Europe, invented by John Gutenberg of Germany in 1454, is most important one. First Latin Bible was printed in 1455 at Mainz in Germany. Printing reached Italy in 1465, Switzerland in 1473, France in 1470, Austria and Netherlands in 1473 and Spain in 1474. In England, press was established in 1476 by William Caxton in Westminster. In Oxford the press was set up in 1478 and St Albans in 1479. In London the press was set up in 1480. All presses printed in Latin, but books were printed in English in 1483. Books became cheaper and plentiful. Another invention was the mariner's compass, 12th or 13th century, which helped the sailors to undertake long voyages. Another invention was the telescope, 1608, which made the beginning of the science of astronomy. After the capture of Constantinople by Turks on May 29, 1453, there was a regular exodus of Greek scholars to Europe. Renaissance started in Italy by Dante, Petrarch, and Boccaccio. Greek language was taught in Italy by Greek chrysoloras from Constantinople. Italian writer of that period was Machiavelli, who influenced the readers. In France the readers were influenced by the poetry of Ronsard, prose of François Rabelais, and essays of Montaigne. In Spain Cervantes' Don Quixote is most famous work of Renaissance. In England Renaissance was heralded by Chaucer and Selling. A good start was given by three Oxford friends, Thomas Linacre, William Grocyn, and Hugh Latimer, who studied in Italy and later Greek. John Colet started St. Paul's Grammar School in England, which is completely devoted to study the classical literature. Latin grammar book was prepared by William Lilly. In London schools like Christ's Hospital and Charterhouse were started. Many schools were founded during the reign of Henry VIII, 63 schools, Edward VI, 50 schools, Mary, 19 schools, and Elizabeth, 188 schools. Works of Virgil, Ovid, Cicero, Demosthenes, and Plutarch were translated into English. The first part of Chapman's Homer appeared in 1598. In England, Renaissance in literature began with Sir Thomas More. His famous work Utopia, written in Latin, was published in 1516 and translated into English and was published in 1551. Erasmus was one of the last European writers who wrote in Latin. His famous work was The Praise of Folly, written in 1509. Spenser is the representative poet of the English Renaissance. His famous work is Faerie Queene, published in 1590. Other writers are Ben Jonson, Francis Bacon, and Christopher Marlowe. Christopher Marlowe is the father of English tragedy. There was a revival in the educational ideals. Comenius, Rabelais, and Montaigne conducted experiments to devise a new educational system to fashion not the scholar but the man. The invention of mariner's compass gave Europeans the courage to undertake new long voyages. Columbus discovered America in 1492. Vasco da Gama discovered India in 1498. Magellan set in Pacific Ocean in 1519 and reached Philippines in 1521. Sebastian del Cano returned to Spain in 1522. Renaissance in religion consists of two movements, the Reformation and Counter-Reformation. Martin Luther King, who translated the Old and New Testaments of Bible, started the Reformation in Germany. William Tyndale gave an English rendering of the Bible. A Counter-Reformation was started by founding a Society of Jesus headed by Ignatius of Loyola in 1540. There was a slip in the Church, and those who protested against the supremacy of the Pope were known as Protestants. Renaissance in art are those of Michelangelo, Raphael, and Leonardo da Vinci, who were poets, painters and sculptors. Michelangelo sculptured the statues of David, Moses, and Virgin Mary holding the dead body of Christ on her lap. He painted the ceiling of Sistine Chapel and the great fresco of the Last Judgment on the wall of the same chapel. Raphael painted a number of pictures, the majority of them being the Madonnas. Leonardo da Vinci is famous for the fresco of the Last Supper in the refectory of Maria del Grazie in Milan. Renaissance in architecture replaced Roman and Greek styles, columns and round arches, with medieval Gothic style, pointed arches and spires. St. Peter's Basilica in Rome is greatest example of new style. The new style reached England in the 17th century through the works of Inigo Jones and Christopher Wren. They reconstructed St. Paul's Cathedral in London after the Great Fire of 1666. Wren also built 52 other churches in the city. The development of spirit of inquiry, freedom of thought and action made a huge revival in the society. For more videos, like, share, subscribe. Thank you.